Greetings, everyone. Welcome to THL Hearthcenter, bringing you the latest results of what happened in the last week of THL. I'm one of your hosts, Lotus Knight, and I am joined by quite an insane crew here. To my left, Azalea Kari. Azalea, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm happy to be here and to kick off the first week of recaps of this season.
Nice. To my right, Geranium Battle. Geranium, how are you?
Doing great. Um, yeah, I mean, we have results in for the first week. We have a recent patch, although maybe the wild side of things is feeling that more than standard. And yeah, we got a great show.
For sure. And Chicken, how are you doing? Are you excited for the show tonight?
Yeah, I'm excited for this special Wednesday edition of Hearth Center.
For sure. We have quite a lot prepared, so I hope you're ready for our special show um, with quite a lot of stuff. We're going to start with Player of the Week, and we're going to have first our Hero Player of the Week. Geranium, why don't you tell us who our Hero Player of the Week is?
Of course, our hero player of the week this week is none other than World 8. Dad Legend versus uh, the gas leak in the Starbucks was always likely to come down to the 3 seed, with large PR disparities in all other matchups. World 8 was able to clutch a 3-2, which sealed the Week 1 win and a first place start for Dad Legend looking to rebound from a tough last season.
Nice. Congrats, World 8.
Oh,
Azalea.
I will mention that was written by Yellow Dart, actually.
Nice. Thank you, Yellow Dart, for the submission. Reminder to everyone, you can submit your thoughts for Player of the Week. It really helps the Player of the Week committee if you do. So nominate your friends, your team players, your opponents. We love to hear that.
Mhm.
But Azalea, why don't you tell us our Legacy Player of the Week?
Our legacy series player of the week is Azulinas. Um, Azulinas played her first season 2 seasons ago and recorded a 2-7 record as her first ever foray into Hearthstone. She took a season off and has since returned to play for F2L White. This time, she has turned things around and secured a clutch 3-2 win to win the week for F2L by exactly 1 point. The team is starting off strong thanks to her key match securing the win. That is a write up from Marty B.
Thank you, Marty, for that write up. And thank you and congratulations to Azalina for winning Player of the Week
Yeah.
for
Congrats, Lino.
Legacy. Now, let's take a look at our Pro Player of the Week. Chicken, who got it?
Our pro player of the week is none other than Memnarch. Playing last out of everyone, Memnarch needed a win to seal the week for CMU versus OPP. And this would be a daunting task if you just looked at the lineups. In particular, Memnarch recognized that getting his Rainbow Mage through would be tough, as his opponent had all 4 decks favored against it. With a bit of luck, including a Pelagos of a hidden meaning in his Hunter game, with bananas in hand, Memnarch pulled off a 3-game sweep over his opponent's Drum Druid. Great win that clutched the week for CMU. And thanks to Wild9 for that submission.
Thank you, Wild9, for your submission, and congratulations, Memnarch, for winning Player of the Week. This is quite the lineup for Hero, Legacy, and Pro. As a reminder, Wild Player of the Week will be featured in the other show, or one of the other shows. You can check Sidebar on Tuesday mornings, where they will go over your Wild Player of the Week, as well as Trio Series. Here in Hearth Center, we're going to cover Legacy, Hero, and Pro only this season. So come along with us as we go into what has happened in these 3 series over the last week. And we're going to start with Hero here. So let's take a look at our first Hero match, We're going to look at Department of League Administration facing a premium membership. And I want to ask Azalea to tell us about this match.
All right. We have Dola versus a premium membership. So just going down the line, we have Ron Mexico continuing his amazing performances in Hero with a 3-1 win over Stinzy. We have Heat Shock getting a 3-1 win over Jammies. In the 3 seed, Ducharmo able to get a 3-1 win. And then Dragon Rider starting off her season strong with a 3-1 win over Carrie. And lastly, Wyfair takes a sweep over Saku, which keeps the week close.
That was such a close week, but the
Yep.
Department of League Administration did make it through. Dranium, anything you want to add about this match?
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting seeing Warrior a couple of times in here. There's a lot of class differences actually between the players. Ron not bringing DH, but of course bringing Hunter and it getting banned. And yeah, we see some Paladin in the lower seeds of APM, but even those Paladins getting banned. Yet no other Paladins among any of the other seeds. Hunter's doing great. Hunter's in every single lineup. Mage pretty popular as well.
Again, anything you want to say about this match before we move on to our second match of the night?
Yeah, I mean, this is just a pretty close match between two teams that are quite strong on paper. I mean, Descharmo's playing in a 3 seed on an APM, and he's previously been a 1 seed in Hero Series. Definitely had some seasons where his record was a bit in the negatives, which is kind of why you see his PR down now at 426. But I think if he's able to string some wins together, I think this team is going to have a lot of success despite dropping the first week to Dola. And
Mhm.
yeah, like even losing to Dola is not like a huge deal. I mean, they are the hero runner up from last season, and they have like Mako basically always has like some insane record in hero for some reason, and then you have Ron and Heatshock in the 1 and 2 who are really strong, and Dragon Rider and Saku who are both very solid as well, rounding out the bottom. So yeah, two teams that I think will both do quite well this season.
Mhm.
For sure. Let's move on to our second match, where Chicken is going to tell us about the gas leak inside the Starbucks facing Dad Legend.
Yeah, so we have our Teal Conference match where Dad Legend took a 16-11 win over the gas leak inside the Starbucks. I think most interesting to note here right off the bat is that there are 5 druids, 5 hunters, and 5 paladins on the side of Dad Legend.
Mhm.
10 hunters in total, which should really be a surprise to absolutely no
Nobody.
one.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 5 paladins is certainly a shock to me. It does seem to have worked out for them, considering that they got 3 match wins and picked up quite a few points. But yeah, that's very surprising to me. I
Mhm.
personally don't think Paladin is all that strong right now. Um,
Mhm.
Tends to lose to any deck with a board clear.
Yeah.
And it also seems like a bit of an odd strategy to me because I felt like last week Hunter was kind of was the de facto best class.
Mhm.
And like most strategies just made way more sense if you banned it. And then I
Yeah.
feel like on ladder, Paladin's main strength is that it was a good deck into Hunter. But we
Yes.
do see that 4 to 5 people on Dad Legend did not ban Hunter. So, I mean, you have to assume that bringing the Druid and the Paladin, they were kind of planning on having some good matchups into the Hunter.
Geranium, any thoughts you want to share here?
Yeah, this is sort of what I was alluding to back when I was talking about Paladin and how it was only brought in the lower seeds. Is yeah, I mean it's a deck that people believe in at many different parts of ladder. As you can see, the top seeds of Dad Legend also bringing it, um, but it didn't get the respect ban as it did in the other matches. And yeah, it looks like not banning Paladin was the right call, or maybe it was um, that Legend choosing to ban decks like Warlock and Rogue, which are very high roll decks, but in Hero they need to high roll all 3 games in a row for it to actually complete the sweep. So it's a yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting thing there. And then of course Druid also somewhat being a high roll deck. Um, and yet no one banging it, people constructing their lineups. Probably bringing decks more like Secret Hunter in order to beat it, rather than choosing to ban it out.
Before I ask Azalea for an opinion, I just want to thank Super Chicken for their 6 month sub with Twitch Prime. We'll talk more about Twitch Prime in a bit. But thank you so much, Chicken, for your sub. Now, Azalea, tell me anything you want to share about this match.
Um, I thought the lack of think the lack of Mage surprises me. Mage showed to be a pretty strong deck. Um, and it was brought by quite a lot of people in the previous match. And I think that's like my main takeaway. The Paladin bring is obviously a bit surprising, but overall, nobody on Dad Legend bringing Mage is a bit surprising to me. But great win for them, honestly, to start off against a pretty strong team.
For sure. Now, this leads us to our standings, where Geranium is
Mm-hmm.
going to tell us his who's where and his thoughts about this first week. Seems like no one really broke off. Teams are still very close together. What do you think, Geranium, of our hero standings?
Yes. So in teal and purple, as you were saying, none of the teams are really that far behind after the first week. Going through purple, it is a very tight conference with Dad Legend at 19 points, F2L Black just behind him at 18 points, Department of League Administration at 16. His name is actually Jonas at 11, and A Premium Membership at 11. So they did, in fact, win the cross conference match there. But yeah, only 8 points difference between the first place and the last place, meaning that this is probably going to change hands quite a bit throughout the rest of the season. Meanwhile, over on the teal side of things, 22 Diamonds version started off with 21 points. Always playoff mode at 17 points. The Gas Leak inside the Starbucks at 11 points. Dr. Boom's Puzzlers was below them at the start of the week at 10 points. And then the Harvard of the Northeast was at 9 points. So those bottom 3 teams, 11, 10, 9 points, very close together. And to be honest, once again, not very far behind the top 2 spots, which are the ones that are slotted to go to playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a lot of these first matches have been very close. A lot of 3-2 wins rather than more blowouts.
It's true. I also feel like lineups, and this is something we usually see in weeks where nerfs have recently happened or still we haven't had a full week. Lineups still aren't consistent. It's not like you have figured out one or two best lineups yet. So that has an impact on having more intermediate scores. But with this all said, are we ready to go into Legacy?
Absolutely.
All right, so let's hop on to Legacy, where Geranium is going to tell us about our first match, F2A White facing Justin Makes Me Feel Good.
Yes, and F2 White managed to squeak it out versus Justin Makes Me Feel Good 13-12. With the very bottom, we had Player of the Week Azulinas taking the Game 5 win over Righteous Jammies. Just above them, Skirt Reynolds ended up taking the sweep over Totino's Pizza. Marty B took a Game 4 win over Hudak. We had Pokemon 661 take another Game 4 win over Yockster. And then we had Rebobson take a Game 4 win over Infinite, who was undefeated last season. Very, very close match. Came down to, as it was stated in the Player of the Week, came down to the final match between Azulinas and Righteous Jammies, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
That is very tight week. Azalea, anything you want to add about this one?
It's good to see Marty B playing closed list again. Had the opportunity to team with him in Hero a couple of seasons ago. I think I think both teams will. I think F12 will be able to continue, and I think Justin's team should be able to get some should be able to get some good wins throughout the season as well. But yeah, congrats to F2L starting with a squeaky win.
Nice. Before I throw it to Chicken, I just want to thank Righteous Jammies for their Twitch Prime sub. Another streak, and they've subscribed for 4 months. So thank you, Righteous Jammies, for your support. So, Chicken, anything you want to tell us about this match?
Yeah, it was certainly a bit of a down week for the Justins, considering how strong of a season they had just this past season. And definitely some differences in the class choices. I find like I don't know which one was actually better in Legacy. Legacy felt at least last week it felt very unsolved in terms of like which classes were the best to bring. So seeing like kind of a difference of strategies here between like bringing lots of rogue and shaman for Justin versus like everyone bringing warrior for F2L is pretty interesting to look at, and did end up giving F2L White maybe a little bit of an edge in the preparation there. So we'll have to see how the Justins bounce back. I'm sure they will, just based on how strong of a team they are. This is, I mean, it's a different look from last season with Justin Time not actually playing anymore this season, and Infinite moving from the 2 seed to the 1. And I think, who's back? Is it Pokemon who's back?
Pokemon is back.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then Righteous Jammies is in the 5.
Yeah. So, yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like this team has a ton of potential. I think like a player like Skirt Reynolds is a big question mark for me because he is such a talented player, and like on a good day he's like one of the most under PR'd players in THL, and then like on a bad day he'll just like get 0-3 and you're like, did someone was someone playing on your account?
Yeah.
So yeah, stuff like that we'll have to see how it pans out for the Justins. I know like Justin Time in general is like a pretty sweaty guy, likes to help his teammates replay review all the time, and like gets pretty into it with like the prep for matches. So I think that kind of like how committed Justin is will kind of affect how the rest of the team does as well, because I think a lot of the players on this team are like, they're good players, but they're more like stronger in-game players rather than like thinking a ton about preparation and stuff, and they might just kind of bring what they're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but yeah, and as for F2L White, yeah, just like a solid team. Having like Marty B as your 3 seed in Legacy is always a recipe for success. And seems like the rookie Azolinas has at least started off the season quite well.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Congratulations, F2L White. And Yeah, this is such a close week. But how does this leave gold standings, Azalea?
Oh, okay, gold standings. So the standings at the beginning of the week starts off with the Stubbs at the top with 21 points. Next up is Defias at 19. Titans of average size currently at 21 points, but they have a match win this week, so they were at 17 points prior. F12 White with 16. Justin makes me feel good, and Alpon Marchands at 12 points each, and then at the bottom is Big W roster. Unfortunately, not picking up a ton of points, getting just 6.
Still a lot
Thank
of
goodness.
bottom ups. Oh, go ahead, Geranium.
Thank goodness no one can pronounce my team name still. That
That's true.
needs to say a thing.
So let's take a look at Red Conference, where we actually had a battle between two of our hosts here tonight. And I'm going to invite Chicken to open telling us what happened here.
Yeah, this was certainly a surprising.
Yeah.
I found it was a pretty surprising result.
Mhm.
Except for Gamer Dude losing. That one was not surprising. That one we expected. Yeah. But yeah, like it was definitely a very very great week for us. We're can't really complain about it. Yeah, I mean like mine and Turtles matches were both like extremely close, like just
Mhm.
like super thin margins.
Yep.
I thought I was losing to Niji for sure. Like I was so certain. He basically like game 5, I think it was my shaman versus his mage, and he just like I just didn't have any nature spells in hand to discount like the AoE,
Mhm.
and he like had Sif in hand for a long time, but like couldn't draw any like damage spells. So we were both just kind of sitting around trying to draw our whole deck, like not doing much. And then eventually, like I just drew like one more nature spell, and I was able to play out my combo and won. But
Mhm.
it was so incredibly close. Like um and same with Turtle versus Ron. Like I think Turtle won like 2 unfavorables versus Outcast Demon Hunter. Um
Yeah.
and especially like I think game one
They were
and
both
game one was
they were both
particularly crazy.
they were
Uh
blowouts. Both of those were blowouts, and Ron was not happy.
yeah, it's like kind of crazy too, because like
Yeah.
if Turtle hadn't had exactly like the perfect hand, or he had like a very good hand, the Druid versus Demon Hunter game, and if he didn't have like exactly um like the drum circle that on that turn, he would have like completely gotten blown out and lost. But then he like had it, so just
Mhm.
and then he like won super easily. But yeah, I mean like
Mhm.
Druid games are super swingy like that.
Always, yeah.
Um, but yeah, uh, yeah, I think I didn't really like see the replays of Kitten versus Cherub, but I know that Real Life
Um.
Demon Hunter lost 3 games in a row.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. I didn't look at the replays either. I do. We at least have them, but um, I don't think the series went very well for my 5 seed. Yeah, and then yeah, after that, Copa. So after Ron went, Copa won, and then Cherub lost, and then and so Neji and Chicken played at the same time that me and Tab played. And my match versus Tab was very close, even though it was a 3-0. I think the worst game was when I queued my priest into his warrior. That was which is typically a good matchup for the Shadow Priest. Unfortunately, was unable to get the victory. In Mage, game 1, Sif was not drawn. I was very close to lethaling if I drew Sif. But yeah, I think it was a good. I think that my match was very close and was pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
With that great description of a match out of the way, though,
Mhm.
I want to ask Azalea if they can tell us what are the standings for Red Conference looking like after this.
Absolutely. After 1 week of play, character limit exceeded, and a perfect mulligan sitting at 20 points apiece. Standard THL Degenerates at 19. Dad Legend at 13. Then we have Valorant Refugees at 9 points. ET Cthulhu at 8. And Amberflight Gaming also at 8 points.
Nice. It does sound like Legacy has quite a wide field here. Any
Yeah.
final things anyone wants to add about Legacy before we move on to talk about, first our commercial and then Pro Series?
I will add that there is a slight difference in that in Legacy, as well as in Pro that we cover later, it is the top 3 from each conference instead of the top 2 like it was from Hero. So 3 in Legacy, top 3 in Pro, as we'll see later.
Nice.
Nice. So moving back here to our main screen, we have our commercial break, and tonight, just tonight, you have an amazing opportunity to hear our clean commercial. That's right, we're not going to have any corruption tonight as we start with a perfectly fine commercial read. And tonight, reading our commercial, we have Azalea Kari. Azalea, please take it away.
All right. Yo, 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 yo. Hey there, Twitch viewers. Have you subscribed to Team Hearth League yet? Then make today the day to be a league yourself and subscribe to our channel. This subscription enables our team to cover the cost of operating our website as well as improve the quality of our streams and content to our viewers. If you have Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime, you can subscribe to the channel for free on Jeff Bezos. And subscribers will get a THL emoticon as well as the amazing THL chat badge. So hit that thumbs up button and keep the lights on to make sure you catch our team broadcasting live. We appreciate each and every one of you. Special note to our viewers, check out THL's other social media points of interest. Website is teamhearthleague.com. You can catch us on Twitter at THL_HS, or you can join our Discord, Team Hearth League. And the true Hearth legend Saku continues to post all our videos to the YouTube channel. Just search for Team Hearth League to see everything previously recorded. You are, of course, watching us on our Twitch channel, possibly on our YouTube channel in the future. And for all of you THL fans out there, there are THL shows every single day, most days of the week. There's a little corruption in there still that threw me off. You can't go wrong tuning in at any time for some Hearthstone related content. Now back to the good part. Ka-chow.
Thank you so much for that commercial read. And before we go hopping into Pro, I gotta say, I missed the corruption. I don't know you all. How forward are
I'm
you
ready.
looking to having an
I'm ready
unbeatable
for next
commercial?
week.
It'll be back soon enough.
It's already started. It followed behind me.
Anything anyone wants to say before we hop on to Pro Series? All right, so we're going to hop on to Pro for our first match. And for our first Pro match of the night, we're going to go to Black Conference, where we have the great match of CMU facing OPP. And I'm going to throw this one to Geranium. Geranium, take it away.
Of course, CMU took a pretty close match with OPP, ended up going 15-12, with King Viking 23 taking Game 5 down over Not Bamity. Pyro Llama ended up winning Game 4 over Tito Santana. Labore Sangre, coming over from Wild Series, took Game 4 over Random Dude. Memnarch ended up going Game 4 against Stazari, and then the match between Wild 9 and Pilot 712 went the distance. 5 games, and Wild 9 took it down with, as you can see, Pure Dude Paladin.
Those are some interesting deck choices. What do you think, Chicken?
Yeah, definitely some interesting stuff. Especially like lots of Outcast Demon Hunter, which was it felt like it was a bit of a flavor of the week last week. Um, maybe with like a new expansion, the meta not being too settled, and people being a bit unprepared for it. It saw a lot of success, like kind of maybe the first week and a bit of the expansion, but it's definitely fallen off a bit since. With I guess people figuring out the matchup of some of the new decks, and maybe people just expecting it more in general.
Mhm.
But it did seem to help CMU get over the line a bit here. Although I think like CMU should have been a bit favored in this match anyways, being like the pro runner ups with the the undefeated Wild 9 season. So like it shouldn't be too surprising that CMU was able to eke out a win here. I think like yeah, Random Dude had some particularly crazy decks like Curse Lock, Blood, Death Knight.
This whole match has crazy decks.
I'd say
By the
like
way,
control pre. Wait, this is Treant Druid, not Drum Druid. I'm seeing. Okay, that I assume that's like the kind of more aggro, um, like faster version of Druid, which I have seen a couple times on ladder,
yeah.
but
Uh, I don't know, Chicken. If you asked me what decks is Random Dude going to bring, I would have probably told you 3 of those 4 decks.
yeah, I guess like if you're gonna play some slow deck, you might as well bring these 4. Uh,
hmm
but yeah, I'm pretty happy that Control Priest really sucks right now.
Well,
Yeah,
hey,
me
Control
Maybe
too.
Priest won that match.
Yeah, it did win in the match, but
it did have to win. Um, so I'm not sure. Would it have won against like a class like Mage? I wonder. Uh,
maybe.
yet to be determined. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, there is some crazy stuff here. No, yeah,
Mhm.
the dude paladin showing up here, not like the craziest thing. It this is definitely. It seems like Wild Nine was really looking to get underneath some of these like more combo-y decks. And he
Yeah.
seemed to succeed in doing that. But I do feel like there maybe could have been something better than like Treant Druid, but alas,
Yeah, yeah, it is
This
a
is
very
like
good match, but this is early meta. Azalea, your thoughts?
I thought the most interesting thing was Labore bringing Spell Demon Hunter, which I looked at because I was very curious, and it's actually like Scythe Druid with Jotun the Eternal, Prosecutor, Meltranix, and Silvermoon Arcanist as the minions in the deck. I've never seen this before. And it got a win. Um, so that's pretty good. I think yeah, I mean CMU obviously runners up or semifinalists last season, I believe. Um, no, they were the runners
The
up.
runner-up. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Congrats on continuing on with another win.
For sure. Let's take a look at the standings here. And I want to ask Chicken, what are the standings for Black Conference looking like?
yeah, Black Conference is already looking a little lopsided. We have F2L right at the top with as many points as you can get in a week. And their points per week is even higher somehow. I'll have to ask Marty how that one works. But yeah, they're up with a perfect 23 points. In second, we have CMU at 18. Right behind them at 17 are the Imposters at 17. And then in fourth place, we have Brushy Tuna at 13 points and OPP at 12 right behind them. And rounding at the bottom, we have Remember the Titans at 5 points. So pretty interesting stuff here. We have F2L crushing it already. Much to the disappointment of Remember the Titans. And yeah, Brushy Tuna not off to the best of starts. So we'll have to, I guess, dropping the first week to the Imposters by 1 point. It looks like.
Yeah, it was 14-13. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Brushy Tuna is definitely a team that can bounce back. I mean,
Mhm.
literally,
They were
like
they were also a
Yeah.
team down their GMs.
Yeah, they both of their GMs, Pocket Train and McBannerface, took a sub their first week because they were too busy with the Masters tour.
Yep. Where yeah.
So, with Black Conference, if no one has any final points they want to share about Black Conference before we move on to Pink, I'll take that as a no. So we're moving on to Pink Conference, where we're going to look at the college player retirement home facing Finn's Femboys, and I want to ask Chicken his thoughts about this match.
Yeah, this was a match that had someone playing in the Masters tour. And it is possible that he submitted decks that he thought were a bit suboptimal to not give any of his Masters Tour prep away, which is why you see the Relic Demon Hunter there. I think this lineup is like, I think Dread had what Secret Hunter in his MT lineup. I don't remember what the rest of his lineup
Yeah,
was,
I don't know either.
but yeah, so he said like, yeah, I'm gonna submit stuff that's a bit off, so as to not give anything away. Or like, I mean, yeah, obviously, like the Masters Tour is a little bit more important.
Mhm.
But the
I mean, he
but
top
yeah,
he top scored it.
still came out with a win over the Wild players. But yeah, ended up being fairly close. I had the last match of the week with it being 11-9. So, um, aside from me going 3-2, a loss would have meant that we lost the week. But I was able to pull out a win
Mhm.
and get the week for us. Start the season off fairly well for us. And yeah, went pretty well. I was the only one on my team not to bring Demon Hunter, or not to get baited by Demon Hunter, perhaps.
Mhm.
Although it did work out well for most of my teammates. Although I think
50%.
Pui said his lineup. I think after the match, Pui said his lineup was unplayable or something like that.
Mm.
I think particularly the Relic Demon Hunter. I think he regretted bringing that one a bit. But
Mhm.
yeah, I think a lot of these decks we're seeing here are not going to be as prevalent in the coming week. Notably, like
Definitely
the
not.
Demon Hunters, and there's a lot of Naga Mage here. Probably won't see that as much unless it's sort of like a pet deck thing for a lot of the players here. I know, I know Nice Jewish Owl thinks Naga Mage is like really, really strong. And there's certainly some debate to be had between like that and the more popular Rainbow Mage, but I think it probably depends on really how the meta kind of levels out over
Yeah.
these next few days. I think Naga Mage is like particularly not so great into Hunter and Rogue. So if those decks are very prevalent, we probably won't see much Naga Mage. Um, and If they really fall off, we might see it a bit more.
Okay. Geranium, anything you want to share about this match?
Yeah. This time we see another Spell DH and another Spell DH winning. I know that that was a interesting thing about the previous match. Um, yeah, uh, it is definitely interesting. I think with the Masters Tour, one of the biggest things is once again sort of that the spell hate and playing those cards that are really good against Naga Mage, which, as you can see, a lot of people actually liked bringing in this match. 3 people on Finn's Femboys and 2 on the retirement home. So, yeah, if Dreadeye did in fact bring his at least some of the ideas from his Masters Tour prep, then maybe the match would have gone a different way. Don't entirely know. But either way, uh, with Enrage Warriors in tow, um, surely this is a new meta and not March of the Lich King again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay.
definitely feels different to me. At
Oh
least
yeah.
like so far,
Oh,
it's definitely
quite
felt
different.
like very refreshing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm pretty hopeful for this THL season in terms of the meta. I think
Oh,
it's it's probably been my favorite meta since like United and Stormwind. Um,
uh,
well, we'll have
I
to see. Yeah, all the combo haters can cry in chat if they want, but this is definitely. Uh,
No,
I think it's a
I
very
for
fun
I
meta,
I
a
for
bit
one
faster
I for one
paced.
enjoyed United and Stormwind.
I
Very
will also add, by the way, that the other priest there is Shagro Priest. It's Shadow Priest that Owl brought.
Yeah, Addo brought Aggro
He
Priest.
I believe he brought the exact same game or exact same deck list versus me in Hero, which you can watch that. It was streamed last
Salty Saturday.
Saturday. It was Saturday.
Hmm.
So yeah, so you can. I think it's the only. Oh no, there's one more Shagro Priest in all of Pro, but yeah, definitely an interesting deck alongside Naga Mage too.
Hmm.
All right. Anything else anyone wants to share about this match before we look at the pink conference standings? Okay, so Chicken, how are the standings for pink?
So at the I'm gonna go by points per week. So at the top we have Aussie Pro Mafia who got 21 points last week, and in second place we have Aggressively Proud Mages who got 20 points right behind them. In third place we have the Collegiate Player Retirement Home, got 18 points last week, and tied for fourth we have Swagoy and Finn's Femboys who are both at 10 points, and rounding at the bottom we have the AFG Pros who got 9 points last week. So just based on the first week, we're definitely seeing a pretty big disparity between the top 3 teams and the bottom 3 teams. I mean, it is just 1 week, but
Black Conference is closer,
but
yeah.
I mean, in recent seasons, there have been less weeks, so every week does matter quite a bit, and yeah, I mean, even if like these bottom 3 teams have like 1 or 2 more of these like 9, 10 point weeks, their chances might be right around zero, I would say. If they have like another week or two like this, just because of how I guess how behind they are already and how much catching up they need to do. Not to like I guess be like a complete doomer or anything, but um there certainly is quite a lot of work to be done if you're
Mhm.
one of these 3 teams.
For sure. Um, anything else anyone wants to say about pink before we move on to our checkout question?
I will say I think uh slightly disagreeing with Chicken. I think it's far from over. I think really whether you make playoffs or not is mostly based on your team record at the end of the season. None of these were terrible losses. Even 9 points on a week is not a terrible loss. Um, but yeah, once you actually start adding up all of the week wins, you know, AFG Pros starts out 9 points behind Collegiate Player Retirement Home. If AFG Pros wins a week and Collegiate Player Retirement Home loses a week, then that's sort of a 4 point difference because AFG Pros has
Yeah,
to get those 3 points and then also
they're
have won. So it's
yeah,
like they're an additional point ahead because they have to have
yeah.
won that week. So
And your
um,
head-to-heads with your conference will have
yeah,
the big swings like that.
so over the course of the season, that will start to average out if the
Yep,
team records average out. So I don't think it's
sure.
a doomer week at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving back to our main screen, we'll see whether or not teams can make it, but we have one question, the best way to compare teams that we on Hearthcenter know to do very well, and that is by team names. And I gotta say, people had a great time naming their teams this season. So I want to ask you, my co-host, as our checkout question of the night, what is the best team name of the season? And I'm going to start with Geranium Battle. Geranium, as a name connoisseur, what is your favorite team name?
If we're going one and done, best team name in all of THL, I mean, I kind of have to go with the one that when I saw it on team reveals, I knew it. I was just like, that's the best pun anyone could have made about this season. And it has to go to a pro team we discussed a little bit here. Remember the Titans. Just look, it's the Titans expansion. Yeah. How did no one else do that? How did no one else get that team name?
Well, if someone else had tried to get the team name, they would have said someone else already has the team name. So hopefully that one answers that.
Fair. Chicken, what is your best team name?
Um, I think my favorite team name, uh, and I mean, I'm gonna include the logo a little bit in it because it does help paint quite the picture. It is gonna be the gas leak inside the Starbucks. Uh, yeah, I mean, you do have to be very wary. Like, a gas leak could occur in a Starbucks at any time.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I do really appreciate Turtle bringing awareness to the issue. Um, and also, yeah, I like I like the logo. Like, there's just for some reason there are two like Nagas in the Starbucks. I don't understand why. Why, but and also for some reason the gas leak is like gasoline. Um, which it could happen, and you do have to
Hmm.
think about that.
Hmm.
So yeah, that would certainly be my favorite.
I will bring the question here if you do actually have to think about that. But Azalea, what is your favorite team name this season?
My favorite team name. Let's go to trios for me, and I'm gonna say it's Pod Speed Sliders. I absolutely love that name. As someone who as someone who has a pretty long history of speed running, not necessarily in Trackmania, which is where the reference comes from, but I absolutely love the name. Master came up with a good one with Jespin and Righteous Jammies.
Nice. Um, well, congratulations if your team name was within these. If it was not, we're not the best judges either. Just say what your favorite is. Message us on our comments. Tell us how we got it wrong, how we forgot about a great name. We would love to hear it. But that is it for our special Wednesday Heart Center show. It was the original Hearthcenter day when I joined, so what? I don't even know when that was. I don't even know if any of you were in THL when I joined Hearthcenter. That was so long ago. But um, I think that is it for us tonight. There will be a special show this weekend. Is that right, Azalea?
Yeah. Um this Saturday once again we're gonna have another episode of Out of Your League. It's gonna be a weekly show. So it's gonna be 9 a.m. Eastern on Saturdays the entire season. So we're uh we're excited for our next set of guests. I don't wanna give out any hints before we get it. That's gonna be myself, Bone Masher, and Denka's dad as hosts.
Nice. So please watch on Saturday. If you want to play on stream, please message us on the Stream Matches channel. We're always looking for stream matches. And this season, for the first time, you can actually win um, money for playing on stream. You can win $10 in
True.
Hearthstone stuff. If you are chosen in a raffle, the raffle will be given here in Hearthcenter on the 6th week and on the last week of the season. So remember to play on stream. It's also just fun playing on stream. We're always looking for matches. You can go there to stream match channels. You can DM Saku. You can DM me. You can DM Wild9. We would love to have yours. So, with that said, that is it for us tonight. I want to give a very special thank you in the name of the whole Hearthcenter team. I want to give a special thank you to our hosts, Azalea Kari, Geranium Battle, and Super Chicken. And we will see you all very soon. Have a good night and a great week, everyone. Later.